Hey, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. I've loaded in here in El Halouf. I'm in my T26 E5 Tier 8 Premium American Heavy Tank. You know, sometimes you just have to improvise. And I'm going to show you a case of this on El Halouf in the encounter mode. We're going to call this one, What Good Are the Dead? What good are the dead? Well, I'm going to show you what good the dead are. But let's talk a little bit about the initial deployment on El Halouf. El Halouf plays, whether it's encounter or standard, more or less the same. You're going to find a large amount of the tanks moving up in here to the A1, A2, A3, this big corner here in the northwest, duking it out, whether it's standard or encounter. You'll oftentimes have some TDs camping around this area. The enemy will do the same thing down here, and occasionally scouts and mediums will attempt to do some kind of harassing or flanking maneuver right there. If you take a look at the two teams, you'll notice that they look fairly even, but there's one significant difference, and that's the number of TDs that the other team has. What does that mean to me on El Halouf? If the enemy has that many TDs, what that means to me is I can expect a number of them to probably camp on this ridge, which is a relatively useless move until one of two things happens. Either my team pushes down here a little too aggressively and gets schwacked, or we win over here and come around this corner and they finally get some shots. Rarely does much go on down in this flat area, although sometimes some scouts and mediums will get in and around the cap trying to fast cap, silly things like that. What I like about our deployment right here, and I noticed as we went, I'll get started, is that our mediums, heavies, it looks like it is student body right, and everybody is headed towards this corner, and that is very good based on what we're going to do here. We did not invest many down in the south, and you really don't need to. It'll take them a long time to figure out that we don't have anybody in this area. Our entire combat power minus the MT, the Arty, which can reach over here, and this one TD who's kind of overwatch is here. And that is excellent, because what that allows us to do is make a big overmatch in the northwest and a hard push. It would appear that, and you'll see this in a moment, that our mediums have figured this out. The T-44-100 actually dives into this little V, and that can be suicidal if you don't have enough backup. But he does, because here we all come up the hill, and we've got guys pushing across. The Chaffee's taken a position. We've got some tanks over there, and so far none of them have crossed this open area, which you will see. Here comes the IS-3. Now, I wish I hadn't quite got out in the open. I thought maybe I'd get a shot and he'd keep going, but he ended up getting tracked, which hurt me because he's able to actually punch me in the face because he wasn't able to keep going. And that's all right, though. We are now pushing up into their face right here. What's going on behind me real quick? How do I know this is still working? Because I've got a lot of guys on Overwatch above. We are all down here, and we had an IS-3 cross, which is excellent, because I don't want that IS-3 on the enemy to come back to that corner right there and start hitting me in the side. So as of right now, we've got them on all sides. They're popping him in the face. Great depression on the T26 E5. That's something that that tank can do, popping up over steep ridges like that and hitting people at the top of the turret. So I'm going to work around to a quick tactical flank. These guys over here are looking at them in the face. I'm going to move over to this area right here, which gives me options to hit them in the side, deal with these guys if they come around the corner, and potentially shoot the IS-3 in the back, depending on what I choose to do. But what I have to do as well is check. So you'll see me flipping my camera around and checking 6 real fast. That guy doesn't even really know I'm there. Now they're backing off, and we are pushing. The danger here now is the aforementioned TDs, which can be camping down on these ridge lines, will have shots up on this ramp where this IS-6 has exposed himself, and the rest of the guys are going to come over. So if you're going to push down that ramp, you need to do it quickly. Unfortunately, the IS-6 gets over there, and that's fine. He's looking for cover. So I'll get out of his way. I don't want to start ramming into him. Once he's passed, then I'm just going to go with these guys. Unfortunately, that Centurion makes a mistake right there. He should have just kept going. That's something that's fairly typical when people push, is they are afraid to take a hit. So you saw that Centurion hide up in there, and he really dorked up the entire push. That's fine, though. We're in there now. And we have now come around behind the enemy that's all stacked up. So we've got Pershing IS-3, we've still got a guy in this corner, a bunch of us have come around behind these guys. They sent a considerable amount of their combat power, but there are some TDs sitting back here. And unlike what I discussed about figuring the TDs would be back here, they actually are not. So if you look at it, you've got the 8.8s up here, the Ferdinands up here. So they've actually done the correct thing and pushed up where they were needed. The good news is sometimes the enemy team gets a lot of tunnel vision and they do not see what's going on. We get a little over aggressive because our guys kind of push right into them. Trying to track that Ferdy, but I can't. Make another mistake right here. I decided to shoot the M449 instead of the Ferdinand. I was trying to get down to his lower plate, but I'm not able to do it. So now we're in a little bit of a hurting status. Shoot him. Hey, look, got a little help, so excellent. And then this is the part, what good are the dead? Well, that's a good question. What good are the dead? Well, I'm hiding in amongst these guys, and I'm using that rev right there initially. That's a perfect hold down spot over the back deck of his tank. My turret pokes over. Now I've got some friends trying not to run into that IS-6. And I noticed that the HT number 6 killed him. That means there's some people behind us. Yep, there they are. So I've got the backup. Let's get rid of him. That HT, uh-oh, here comes another one of them. I get thumped by him. Start machine gunning down. Aggressive move by the Scorpion. They do not reload very fast, so that is a problem for him. He's going to end up dying. And now I just back up, and what good are the dead? I'm just putting as much of this tank right here in front of me and this 8.8. And it reloads fast, so I'm going to work in here as best I can. Show you what I'm doing. Zoom in. He fired. Oh, that's a bummer. And I'm just going to rock a little bit here. I'm just trying to minimize the amount of time that he can aim in on my turret hatch or potentially hit my back deck. If I get a little too high up on this little ridge or little edge that I'm working on, he might be able to shoot back down onto the top of my engine deck, and I want to avoid that if at all possible. That hit into the ground, unfortunately. I've got the IS-3 working here, and I'm just using my dead friends and enemies as a little bit of extra shielding, a little bit extra armor. Now he's going to make a mistake here. I'm trying to find a place to shoot him, but he's going to give me that little flat plate right there. This is a pretty accurate gun. I'm just going to punch right through. Wait for him. Nope. Oh geez. So the 8.8's figured a way to get a shot at me, and I don't want to sit here getting thumped into my engine deck there, so I've got to get out of there. He ends up hitting me again. So I'm just going to run away. IS-6 gets him dead. And I'll come back around this little corner right here. Just using all the available bits of terrain, dead tanks, whatever it is I can do to stay alive for one more shot. What good are the dead? I'll thump this guy. This IS-3 is a long read. I don't know if he's ammo racked or what, but I end up beating him here, and we'll get that guy dead. So that's a ace, 6 kills, about 4,200 damage. I'll show the details of that on the back. But worked out more or less like I thought, although they did bring up more of their TDs and combat power. So it was a darn good thing that we sent almost every tank we had down here because it was a near run. We got aggressive push in their face. Once we got around and flanked them, though, they were in a bit of trouble at that point. We're able to whittle them down, and I'm able to survive that 8.8 for a while by hiding behind some dead tanks. I hope this helped, guys. Take it easy.